As a support, have you ever wished your team thanked you for healing them and actually recognized the hard work that you were doing? Well, in this in-depth guide, I will show you how to become the Baptiste that your teammates want to have on their team. Pressure is the main goal of Overwatch. As a DPS, you're trying to apply pressure to the enemy team, which usually ends up resulting in kills. And as a support player, your job is to alleviate pressure off your team. This can be done in two different ways. The first way is by healing, which is super important, but it's not the primary thing you should be looking to do. Instead, you should be looking to apply pressure to the enemy team yourself. And with Baptiste, you have a great burst rifle that can output some significant damage. If you're looking to DPS whenever you get the chance, you're effectively giving your team 3 DPS versus the enemy team's 2 DPS. This not only leads to more kill potential, but also more strain on the enemy supports. Because now the enemy team has so much damage coming in that it forces the enemy supports to heal up to 3 sources of damage, plus the tank's damage. So that's a combined almost 4 total damage sources. This takes away their ability to DPS and apply pressure to your team, since they'll be stuck playing catch up to try to heal all the damage your team is dealing. And this is where Baptiste stands out from other supports. A character like Zenyatta can output a lot of DPS, but he doesn't heal as well. But Bap can effectively burst heal his team while also looking to pump out some serious damage to help put pressure on the enemy. I'm now going to look at his abilities and how they all relate to the concept of pressure, since understanding pressure is the key to understanding how characters fit into the game of Overwatch. Now let's start off with the most important part of Baptiste's kit, his Immortality Field, otherwise known as Lamp. This ability is the best pressure reducing ability in the game, and this may be a hot take, but this ability single-handedly keeps Bap a viable support in any situation. He may not be the best for the situation, but I don't think there's ever a time where he's truly bad. The ability makes your entire team unkillable, it's just too strong. Now this ability is best used to deny enemy ults. If there's a D.Va bomb launched into your team and you guys have no cover, then Lamp and the bomb will destroy the lamp and you guys still remain alive. Then after the lamp is destroyed, use Regen Burst in your heal shots to get everyone back up. This is a great way to stop sudden burst damage. Another great thing Lamp is used for is denying Rein ult. Now this takes a bit more skill because it requires you to combo with his Exo-Boot jump, which I'll explain more about in a bit. But basically you're watching for Rein to get aggressive and look to slam. Assuming you're ult tracking, which I can make a video on how to ult track if anyone's interested, then you'll know that Rein should have his ult by now. And this is when you stay in the backline with your boots charged and crouched. And then when Rein looks to get more aggressive than usual and changes up his behavior patterns, that's a telltale sign that he's looking to slam. And now the second you hear the start of the word hammer in the voice line hammer down, you jump and that will send Bap into the air with enough time to ignore the slam's effect. Then mid-air, look down at your team slammed and drop the lamp on them. And now Rein can still charge you out of the lamp, but it gives your team a better chance of survival in the encounter. Now these are just a few ults Bap can counter. There's a ton of things Bap can beat because of how strong this lamp is. Another thing to consider with his lamp is when do you use it? Do you save it for a teammate or use it selfishly for yourself? And this is a tough question to answer because it depends heavily on your game's flow and the enemy's team comp. But usually I would say try to save it for your teammates and avoid using it for yourself. As a support, you should always be in the back line and position near hard cover and a health pack so that if you get dove, you can run to the health pack and make you a harder target to eliminate. So hopefully this allows you to survive a dive without needing to use your lamp. But if you do get dove and you run to a health pack and the enemy is still beating you, then use your lamp. It does no good if you take your ability to the grave with you. It's better to use your ability and get value out of it, to potentially turn the 1v1 versus not using it and just die and putting your team down as support. But that's the key here, is to not use your lamp in the 1v1 versus the diver unless you really need to. However, when you do use it selfishly, it makes Bap one of the tankiest supports. You not only have the ability to use his boots to jump to and from high ground, but if you get pinged down, you can use Regen Burst to self-heal yourself. More to come on this ability later, along with Lamp to give you a couple seconds of immortality to help turn the fight in your favor. This is what makes Bap's Lamp so good and so versatile. It can be used to help your team turn any fight. So as long as you're consistently thinking to yourself throughout the game, how can I get the most value out of this ability? Then you'll be doing good on Bap. It has a long cooldown, so don't waste it. But also, don't be too scared to use it either. The key is developing a feel for how long the lamp takes in the air for travel time, and then how long the deploy time takes. One key to remember is that the lamp takes about the same time to travel as the same arc as Bap's heal shot from his primary burst rifle. So if you're comfortable aiming his heal shots, you can be comfortable aiming his lamp. Now this opens up opportunities for cool plays like what I like to call spawn lamps. These are lamps that you can snipe from spawn over the map to hit your teammates from far out. These are risky, but if you go into custom games and learn some spots, similar to how you can play around and learn spawn nades for Ana, it will give your Baptiste the ability to shine in weird situations that the enemy and your own team wouldn't expect. The next ability I want to look at is his Regen Burst. This is a very good ability since it helps Baptiste heal everyone close to him and also lets him heal himself. This ability is great when someone is low and you need even more burst heal. You can pop a regen plus heal shots to quickly get some HP back up. Another thing I love to use Regen Burst for, which I don't see many people doing, is pre-healing someone. Since regen heals over time, you can pop it before a dive tank like Winston jumps in, and as they're fighting, it will still heal them for a couple seconds. This is great to provide your team a bit of an edge and gives you some free time to reload or get a little bit of DPS in. This is also the main ability to use selfishly if you're getting dove and need help, since it provides sustained healing over time and makes Bap a tough target to kill, since he can focus on damaging while simultaneously getting healed. Now combine this with running to a nearby health pack in case you need a quick burst heal, and Bap becomes a force to be reckoned with in the backline. Bap can also use his Exo-Boots to charge up a super high jump. This is a super underrated part of his kit, and I love using it. This gives Bap access to instant high ground, and it's great for when you're getting dove. You can start off on the low ground, and when a diver comes in, jump up to the nearest high ground. Then when the diver burns abilities to reach you on the high ground, you jump back to low ground and keep repeating the cycle. It's a great ability that makes Bap super survivable in addition to his tankiness from other abilities. The only thing to be aware of is when you jump, you become a predictable target in motion. One bad habit I have is constantly jumping even when you're not in danger. Try to not to jump unless you need to get out of danger or if you're trying to create a new line of sight to heal your team. Think of jumping to see a Ryan that's May walled off. But if you jump for no reason and there's a Widow or an Ashe on the enemy team, it's super easy for them to punish you because they're hit scan and they have high burst damage. So like all of his abilities, always be thinking to yourself, how can I get the most value out of this ability? Does using this put me in danger? And do I really need to invest this resource? Bap's ult is one of those ults where it isn't the flashiest, but it provides solid, consistent value. It forms a giant window that amplifies damage and healing projectiles that go through it. This is a fantastic zoning ult because it puts tons of pressure on the enemy team and puts them at a significant disadvantage, which makes it very difficult for them to walk through a sightline that has a window up. Baptiste can also use this ult reactively to quickly change the tide of a fight once the tanks engage with each other. I like to use a low more reactionary just because it makes sure the enemy just can't wait the ult out. Even though in certain situations, buying time to regroup and stop an enemy from pushing into you can be worth it. Bap can also use his ult selfishly and pop it in front of him to amplify his healing on a low target. Again, just like the rest of his kit, the ult is straightforward but has a lot of possibilities to get creative on how you use it. Being aware of your current situation is a key to get value out of the ult. The ult also persists after you die, allowing your team to use it. So take that into account when making a decision. The final thing regarding the ult that I want to touch on is to get his perk that allows his shoulder turret to automatically heal when using an ability. This allows your turret to shoot healing projectiles through your window, which means you can focus more on damaging when your window is up. To end this video, let's talk about a general strategy and when it's best to pick Bap. Baptiste is a fairly simple support to pick up and learn, but he's pretty complex to master. I like to run Bap as my main healer when playing in a brawl or a poke comp, or when facing against enemy shields. Bap has high damage that's easy to spam into enemy shields without sacrificing healing output. This makes him a great person to spam down enemy shields and open up damaging opportunities for your team. I like to run him in Brawl because he has high healing output to sustain the fight, and his primary healing shot can explode and heal people in a group. Since everyone on your team will be grouped up in a Brawl comp, it gives Baptiste maximum value out of his heal shot. Let's say it's a Ryan versus Ryan Brawl. Baptiste can heal his Ryan, while also shooting down the enemy Ryan shield or applying pressure towards the enemy Ryan without reducing his healing output. This provides an advantage for your Ryan to win the matchup. And if your Ryan does something stupid, like charging the enemy backline, you can regen him as he goes in, lamp him when he ends his charge, and primary fire heal him as he backs back up into your team. This lets Baptiste fix your team's mistakes and gives you another way to carry the game. Now for Bap's role in a poke comp. His burst rifle has good DPS potential, just like in a brawl comp. But the poke comp has a good chance of people being grouped up. Maybe you have an Orisa and there's a Hanzo on the high ground and a Torbjorn playing near the Orisa. You can heal your team grouped up while applying high damage and bursting down enemy Sigma shields, and also be able to jump onto the high ground to heal your poke DPS like the Hanzo, who are sitting up there applying damage. As I hope you're starting to see, Baptiste's kit lets him do a little bit of everything. And if you're constantly thinking about how to use this kit in each situation, you'll get tons of free value out of him. As I mentioned earlier, positioning for Bap is pretty straightforward and also pretty forgiving because of all his abilities. You want to stay near natural cover in your backline and always near a health pack. As a support, I think it's crucial to have every single health pack location memorized on every single map. Because as a tank or a DPS, you can rely on your supports to heal you. But as a support, if you need healing, you need to burn resources to heal yourself that otherwise could have been used to help your team. And that's usually not good value. Or you have your other support heal you, which in solo queue is unreliable, or at the very least, it takes away resources that could have been used for your tank or your DPS instead. So by positioning near cover, it allows Bap to quickly slip out of a fight and wait for his passive health regen to kick in and heal him without needing to waste resources to heal himself. And by being near a health pack, if you need a burst heal, you can quickly grab a health pack to heal yourself without wasting any resources too. On Bap, I like to position in a place that's close to a safe high ground in my team's backline. This way I can play the low ground with a health pack nearby, but if I get dove, I know where a high ground is that I can escape to. You want the high ground nearby so you can easily jump on and off of it. You can play high ground mostly, or you can play low ground mostly, but whichever you choose, make sure the other is nearby and you have a health pack on your primary spot. I hope that explanation didn't confuse anyone. Basically, you want to give yourself access to high ground to jump on and off of it, and if you play on high ground or on low ground mostly, make sure that you have a health pack near you. My favorite maps to play Baptiste on are Eichenwald, King's Row, and Oasis. All of these maps have great high ground that's near health packs and gives Bap the ability to jump around the map and play in safe spots. These also tend to be good for brawl and poke comps, which is where Baptiste excels. But again, Bap is so versatile that he can be played at any time, but these are just where I would consider Bap to excel. Thank you so much guys for watching the video. I haven't done an Overwatch video in a little bit, and I know a lot of you guys subscribed off my Torbjorn guide, so I hope you find this helpful too. If there's a character or a support concept you would like me to go more in depth with, let me know and I'll make a video on it. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope this guide helped you.